Hi, welcome back to the channel, to the garage, to the Magna. Still mostly apart if you haven't seen the last video yet. This is just after that day or so later. And while we're putting this back together, I figured we should do a few of the other things I want to do anyway. So while it's mostly apart, so today we're going to be doing a spring, front fork spring upgrade to Progressive, the brand, Progressive suspension. They're front fork springs. They are a progressive spring, which I could probably explain better once I pull these out, because I believe the stock ones are also progressive, which just basically means that like it's a differential spring rate, I guess is the way I'm going to say it. So as you go through the travel of the spring, it changes the spring rate. So a soft bump is affected differently than a hard bump. So you can tune your suspension without necessarily having really fancy suspension. Anyway, better than just like a straight coil spring. So what we're going to do here is change those out just for newer, maybe hopefully upgraded in terms of how they function. And also changing out the weight of the fork oil. We're going to do a 15 weight. A lot of people online have said that that is a better weight to go for the front fork springs. So we're going to try that. I'm a little heavier. Like I'm currently, if I'm naked in the backyard, like 240 pounds at the moment. So losing weight, don't worry. But we wanted to maybe get rid of some of the soft feeling up front. Hopefully it'll turn in a little better after upgrading the rear springs to the 412s. Also progressive, right back there. The bike turned already better, just I think the back was in a better position after I set it up correctly, things like that. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on, but we're going to get to these front fork springs. I'm going to show you just how quick and easy that can be. This is just after work for me today, so hopefully you can get done the same amount of time. All right, so first thing is first, these are the front forks. A few things just to point out is I already removed these plastic caps. They just kind of screw on and then on top of those Schrader valves. A lot of people just basically say don't put any air in these. Like I guess people have had trouble with it, especially if it hasn't been touched in 40 years. So I want to put any air in them, but make sure you get the air out by just like depressing the middle there. I already did it on mine. There's a tiny bit in there. The other thing I've done is the front wheel is actually off the ground. I'm also on the center stand, so I have this little jack. I'm just using my engine guard. It's probably not the most proper way to do it, but that's the way I did it. So I'm not lifting up the entire weight of the bike on the front there. So, and then I have just cracked this loose. I just used a regular socket, wherever I set that, sorry. Looking for it. Oh, it's over here. 24 millimeter at the top. It was fairly tight, but I just gave it even pressure. It looks like it didn't do too much damage to those at all. So, but it looks like it definitely was the first person in there. So, just be careful. It's not a very deep sided piece. So, that's the first step. Gonna pull these all the way out, and you want to be careful as you pull them out, just to make sure they don't fly off. There's a spring in there. That's also why we have it jacked up. Because if you take the springs out, the front of your bike's going to fall down. I didn't think about that. The internet told me. So here's your chance to not look like a fool to yourself. So after that, I'm also going to be draining the oil. My seals are fine. They haven't been leaking. Cleaned them well. So I'm not going to take these fully apart to do that at this time. So I'm going to be draining out the side drain on this side. And then on the back of the... from here show you, but on the back here I'll give you a better picture, is another drain plug. So that's the gist of what we're doing here, and I am going to get to it. Well, that's kind of gross. Yeah, that's not the bottom of the pan. Little gray and sludgy at the bottom of that. So, quick update. Oh, we're looking a little sadder. Popped the headlight loose, then had to pop a tachometer out so I could get things out of that hole. Giggity. Anyway, basically, don't forget your washer. Spring was in this orientation, so this is what a progressive spring is. See how it's like my finger almost fits in between the coils here. Down here, it can't even barely put my fingertip in. So, and then on top of that is this spacer, washer, then the actual spacer. I might just hit that with a little, yeah. That's a little sad. Hit that with a little steel wool, but then the cap too. And like there is a little spring pressure behind it, but I mean it was not much at all. So don't be worried. As long as you took the air pressure off and you have that front tire lifted off the ground, you're going to be perfectly fine. It's going to be super easy to put it back on. I'll grab the new springs here in a second. I'm going to pull the other side apart quick. I won't show you that because it's exactly the same. But drain bolt on this side, I'll show you the other one. And then everything just comes out the top there. Once again, my seals haven't been leaking. So I just didn't feel the need to take them all the way off the bike at this point. That might be a winter project next year. Now that I said that, we'll be doing it here in a few months. But we're going to try this out, see what happens. Progressive suspension. That's what I kind of had been saying. Like it's both progressive by the brand and then progressive in nature. As you can see, like the stock springs are very similar. So stickers. They send you like one spacer, but basically if you read the instructions for at least the V45 Magnas, the first gens, you're just going to use what came in the bike. That's what they recommend. So just wanted to show you guys the new ones. They look pretty much just like the old ones, but they're supposed to be a little stiffer, and obviously they're new. Couple things. This is the fork oil I'm using, 15 weight. I'm mainly just going to tell you, make sure you measure it. For my bike, it says 13.2 ounces for the right. It's a little more for the left, it says, because I believe the track anti-dive. But look it up for your bike. Just enjoying my messy work area. Look it up for your bike, measure the right amount, put it in there. I don't know of a better way, I guess, if you had a really long pair of really skinny pliers, but you take the spacer out and the spring's down there. Just saying. Tent stake and a pair of vice grips. So, if you can, it's really hard to show this on camera. Sorry. This bolt in the middle. Look at that one. That one in the middle. That's the drain. Do that one. It's like a strange planet or something. Gross. If you're the kind of person who has a problem stripping bolts, things like that, invest in a torque wrench. These ones are not as heavy as you think. It's just, I don't know why the manual says this, so I'll tell you what the manual says because it's dumb, so do what you think is best. 11 to 22 foot-pounds. Quite the range. So I would shoot for roughly the middle, 15, 17, you know, something like that. Just wanted to mention that. And one more time, you don't need to put any air back in those Schrader valves. The heavier weight oil and the new spring should do everything you need. Well, that's it. we're done. Still light out. So it probably took me a little over an hour and a half to film this and do it. So it's really just like a evening project. Get home from work, bust a few bolts loose, drain some fluids, drink a beer or something while you're doing it, and you'll have upgraded front suspension. If you need to do the seals and everything, it's gonna take a lot longer. Let's put it that way. But this is the quick and easy way. If you've never changed the oil, mine was a lot dirtier than I thought it was gonna be. So I'd recommend at least going through and changing it. And yeah, so I did this one quick and dirty on my cell phone, like I kind of have been doing. But you know, I'm gonna go back and forth between taking the time and trying to do a little better, and then just kind of what the normal thing is. So apologize for the quality fluctuates back and forth. But yeah, that's it. Have a good night. I'll probably work on it again tomorrow, more than likely, because I want to ride soon. So we'll see you back soon. All right. I mean, go do what you want to do. I don't even know why you're still watching. Bye.